Alright, so I ain't got that much battery left. But I'm gonna talk about that video about the basic training. And yeah, we keep talking about Steve Harvey. He, you know, and and remember also he wrote books on giving advice. That's what I'm saying. Men shouldn't be writing no. Any man that write a book about how to treat your woman and da 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 da. Everybody knew the whole time from the beginning. Whenever he started talking that shit, you gotta treat your woman right, dog. And, that's a fuck nigga. His wife. I've said it. I didn't say it on video, but I got proof. I've been saying that. You know how I talk. Exactly. I've been saying that for when he. I would tell. I don't like Steve Harvey. It's like in the 2000s. Like I said, I didn't like him too much when he was a host on Showtime at the Apollo when I was still in high school. When he, Sinbad was a host, and then Steve Harvey took over and other people. But whatever, he just wasn't that funny. So I never liked him like that as a comedian. But it's just something about him, like you don't like him. I never watched the show, but see, that was also in the '90s. The Steve Harvey show. Like I said, I ain't watched no show, but I couldn't watch the repeats in the 2000s. Sid is funny. Everybody loves Sid the Entertainer, but they buddies. I mean, hey, that's your homie. But since you always giving advice, you notice that Steve the one always gets said. Don't give people advice. This is why his shit always funny. You can watch his comedy specials or whatever with his stand up. Steve always try to correct, a man, all that, a man, this and that, and, I'm a man, and this is it, a man treat your woman steadily, his wife fucking somebody, his homeboy. But anyway, that's what I try to tell y'all. That's trying to tell. That's why I tell you over and over again. That's why they got rid of gangster rap. It wasn't misogynistic. It just was a warning to what could happen to your ass if you don't listen. And a lot of guys, they didn't have a dad or uncle or somebody to tell them all that. And they see that's what I'm saying. They wanted just single mothers raising these boys. And then they thought they would all these corrupt. There's also the corruption, and the corrupts. They wanted to rob these black cities. Democrats. And what better way is to make all the men mentally effeminate, even if he's 6'4". He was raised by a single mom. He gonna be bow down to the black women. Boy, it is like nah. Now if he really doing something, even if he 20, yeah, he should feel ashamed. He should. He let his mom down. But if he's not, and he's just trying to make his way out, and he, whatever, don't try to, emasculate. That's what I'm saying. They try to emasculate black men. Now it sounds like one of them '80s niggas. Back to Africa. You trying to emasculate the black man, brothers. We got all that shit, that '80s shit. But that's what that's part of it. Cause like I said, female rappers ain't like the old days. Now everything is my pussy is the best. Nigga, I don't need you. Ha ha. Ain't nothing like Queen. As kids, as little boys, you could get excited about a Queen Latifah song coming on just like it was Dougie Fresh or NWA or one of their radio songs. You could get just as excited for Salt and Pepper. Same thing. They were just like I said. You wanted they tape. Just like you wanted Slick Rick tape. But that's what this whole sick game is about. But anyway, let me go back to what I was talking about. I'm looking for that video about. It had to be last night. Let's see. Hey, where is it? Probably should have queued it up before I came, as they say, whatever. Yeah, let me see. Hey, here it is. This one.
Get somebody to do something. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
Now that part right there, I never had that. Shut your mouth. Now I had them in my face, but not shut your mouth. It's usually you did. They don't show the whole. It is like Democrats do. They cut it out of context, and they show the drill sergeant just yelling. He might have kept talking back, and you're not. See, most of us we are. Well, like I said, I did have 4 years of ROTC in high school before, so I knew a little bit. So I knew, enough to at least. But at high school they ain't doing all that. It's just a major and a E8. These two old dudes. You just drilling. And there's none of that stuff. You don't do push-ups, or some high schools maybe you might dress out, but
We're gonna win everything the whole cycle. You still stay humble, all right?
In the span of 2 years, the U.S. Army has completed.
And then they got to wear masks. That whole thing. I can't. This that must have been last year, 9 months ago. But that footage, they gotta, because you gotta yell. You saw they, you gotta sound off. How you gonna sound off with mask on? This fucking, these Democrats are fucking retarded, man. And we already know the mask wasn't for whatever medical reasons. It was a symbol of censorship. Shut your mouth. That's what it's supposed to be. Don't speak out. That's what it was. Cover your mouth. Demonic, but not. This is not like in the Bible. Cover your mouth. This is demonic censorship. Is symbolism.
Completely changed its approach to training new recruits.
Drill sergeants aren't cussing at soldiers anymore. If you got to use that language to get somebody to do something, you are not relevant in our army anymore.
Which means the way drill sergeants.
You see, they got him trying to sound, and it's like, no, it's just like, and I went through the comments. It's just like I thought, just like I said. I laugh about that. It's funny, and it was funny literally 5 minutes later. And with the rest of us, it's just like I said, it's just like in the hood. You see somebody else getting smoked, you learn from their mistakes. And you don't get smoked. You don't do, I barely got smoked by myself in basic training. Cause by the time I'm not bragging, I got a squad. I became squad first. Like I said, first time I started off platoon guide the first day, not platoon guide. I take the guide on bearer, holding the for y'all holding. During the parade, somebody's holding the battalion or the company flag with the guide on. It's called a guide on, but for y'all, it's, when you see in the parade and the person at front next to the commander marching. Then a week later, when the squad leaders got fired, and I did some shit I saw, because we grew up in the 80s watching military movies. I did just like in the movie. I went and knocked on the door. I said, "Hey, drill sir." He said, "Yeah, come in. I heard you looking for a squad leader." I was third squad leader for the rest of till we graduated. Actually, I got promoted, and don't nobody get promoted. I was a E1, butt naked E1, meaning nothing on my collar when I joined. But I left 3 months later, at least with mosquito wings. But see, also I was being funny. And this was only the second or third week but you knew enough. You see how they do talk like that. But I knew enough. I was comfortable enough to make I can make jokes, and I'm not getting smoked. Cause you got to know. That's what I'm saying. It is like you got to be street tough. Even the white drill sergeant, black drill, all of them, the Puerto Ricans or Mexican drill sergeant, yeah, Latino, especially a female Latino drill. We had one, a Latino female drill sergeant. You know, you got, yeah, you could joke, you still could joke, but you got to be about your, you got to be proficient and learn what you're doing. You joke at the right times, and they just laugh too. You know, they just, yeah, you know, just like in the hood, I ain't fucking with you, man, and they'll just leave. You know, I ain't fucking with you.
You are not relevant in our army anymore.
Which means the way drill sergeants are trained has also changed.
That's frankly something that we adopted during the Vietnam era. It was because we had a drafted force.
But the reasons for this recent shift may go beyond adapting to a modern volunteer army.
We're having a hard time recruiting. I think right now we're at about 40,000 in a deficit. We also can't keep people in our army. People don't want to stay.
And with change comes criticism.
If there's the belief that the Army is woke and that we are getting softer, you couldn't be farther from the truth.
Insider visited the United States Army Drill Sergeant Academy.
No, it's like y'all could try to train them hard. Y'all done lowered it's the mentality. And like I said, by the time I got the AIT, right after graduating basic, we were already, they told us, I was at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and my AIT was at Fort Gordon, Augusta, Georgia. But that ain't the point. So word on the street was the very next, exactly what they're talking about here. They did it in 94, right after I graduated. Same, they gave them what they call stress cards that you keep in your pocket. It's a business card. And if the drills are so yeah, they were making shit weak. That dude just lied. He just lied. He's a Democrat. This is a 90. They stopped it because, like I said, we was in. You know, we had just graduated. We're like stress card. You know, my drill. You know, we're all like my drill sergeant would have slapped that shit out my hand or something because when it's basically he's in your face. Because you didn't fuck. They don't just get in your face for nothing. That's what I'm saying. You did something or you couldn't learn. It's like Full Metal Jacket. Remember at the beginning when dude he didn't know his left from his right, and we had people like that. And they make you put a rock in your left hand, so you always know when he say left face or left, this is which way, what's in your left hand, right flank, left, all that he go, so you did have people really just turning around and walking or about face everybody know, but you got people turning and fucking everybody up in the whole that's what I'm saying. They did something. They only show in this video the people getting yelled at, and even in the first day, just like in my time, there was always somebody who had something to say. The rest of us quiet and listening. Somebody always got something to say, and they got to be, they got to learn the hard way. They got to learn. Get down, push the ground, push the earth up, push through the earth. You doing so many push-ups. The rest of us, we learned because we had jokes. By the middle of basic training, we would be these dudes we be talking about like shit, man. That nigga gonna be so swole, like he been to prison, swole, like he been just, lifting. By the 90s, all the niggas go to prison, they got big old chest and arms because they bench pressing. But he keep fucking up and fucking with drill sergeant. He gonna be swole just like he went to prison because he doing all them push-ups. Because he every time you turn around, he doing push-ups. And the rest of us, it's just like I said, it's just like anything. You ain't gonna be me. I can't imagine doing that shit over and over and getting yelled at. No, and it's not, like I said, you ain't gotta be no kiss ass. It's like, you just come sometimes get to the point, you just, because it ain't getting, they ain't doing nothing bad. It's just, he's hot and sweating and they still going at it, You just close your eyes like, oh shit, because yeah, you know how you cringe, like shit, they smoking the shit out of that nigga. And they learn. Next day he still, he fucking up. whatever. And that's what I'm saying. They trying to make it this. That's when it is woke. You don't treat human beings. No, they're not getting treated bad because you can't hang. You just can't hang. Oh, they deleted my comment. I wrote a comment. They deleted my they woke. Oh no, they didn't. All right, it's still there. Look, this guy. See, he talking about he had Command Sergeant Major King. I'll never forget what she said. Your combat experience means nothing when it comes to training soldiers. What? We're supposed to be training to go to war. How does that mean? You trying to save our lives? Or I'm trying to save your lives by my team. Why would you? That makes see a female. She a command sergeant major. That's what happened. That's what CSM. That's the highest rank you can get as an enlisted. That's what I'm talking about. Woke military, female command sergeant majors. You got sergeant majors, then you got command sergeant major, and you can just tell by what we can tell. And it's like you still just call them sergeant major. Hey, sergeant major, how you doing? You got to speak. Well, it's just like anything on the job. Don't you speak to your coworkers or your supervisor? Hey, sergeant major, how you doing? Oh, hey, but but it's it was saying female. If it's a male, how you doing, sergeant major? Hey, how you doing? How you doing, private? How you doing, sergeant? How you doing, specialist? Whatever. But see, these females, see, they trying to think this is not how you. These not your children. That's what I said. When you got women in sarge, especially black women, everybody is like their children because they know they will. If she's trying to, like I said, if she's a black female drill sergeant, I bet that's one of the common phrases. Y'all worse than my children. Get on my nerves because I saw that at jobs, civilian jobs in the warehouse. It's like, and it's not that you're treating us like children. It's like, no, you got the wrong mentality as a leader, meaning you can't handle it. And you're just stressing out, and what you getting on my nerves? Ain't no getting on my nerves. You got to handle that shit. Get them back in line. And I tell you another secret. It's not. That's what I'm saying. It's not doing. Drill sergeants do that because they ain't got that much time. 3 months. They ain't got time to be making friends. But once you're a leader or in a civilian, really what you do, it's I can't explain it, but it's real easy. And the people will be there for you. They'll like you. They'll do what you say. They'll like doing what you. Yeah, they'll basically love you. And you can be tough. Because matter of fact, you get that little, you'll get that little rep. Oh shit, here you come. And you're not scared. Nobody hate them. Nobody want to do anything. It's just, and y'all was fucking off for a second. Y'all was, y'all was fucking off. And y'all know it. You just got to get that kind of, you got to be that type of dude. That's why, but my whole point, this is like, this is dangerous to all of us. That mean our enemies, whoever our enemies get, they come and these, depending on these type of people, these woke military.
You couldn't be farther from the truth.
Insider visited the United States Army Drill Sergeant Academy in Fort Jackson, South Carolina, to see how drill sergeant training has changed to better prepare the Army of tomorrow.
Dr. Drew, my wife Susan here. We want to show you something.
Oh, these damn commercials. Nobody want to hear you, Dr. Drew, and your wife.
Probably seen this guy all over your feed claiming the cut
of Carolina to see how drill sergeant training has changed to better prepare the Army of tomorrow.
Welcome, United States Army Drill Sergeant Academy.
Day 1 of the drill sergeant training begins promptly at 0600 with a team building event called the Defender Pickup.
5-4, follow me. Let's go.
the first task.
See, in the 90s, that didn't bother me. The females, there were two. It was a look like a white one and then a black one. And that's what I'm saying. You got, but it been like that. I'm pretty sure in the drill sergeants that trained me, they might have had female trainers and shit. And but now it's just weary of that shit. I was blessed to not have to be, around so many high-ranking females. And it's not nothing about misogyny. It's that you just don't want to be around them. Good looking or not. You don't want to be. And it's this what I'm saying. All this shit is crazy.
Is they're going to run
New infantry soldiers, which replaced the more controversial shark attack.
Right there, the guy right there!
We're breaking a lot of habits from the
I
civilian.
mean, like I said, all female drill sergeants. I barely got any interaction because they weren't in my squad. They was in my company, but or my platoon rather, and so barely had any interaction. I mean, one time I did get smoked real bad, but this was when down the line. This is way down. This is like almost at the end of AIT, but I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. You know how they make them jokes on the white folks, Democrat jokes on the didn't do nothing. If it's like when Chicago or with New York didn't do nothing. Yeah, the black guys always I didn't do nothing. But see, I didn't do nothing. We was allowed to have cars, and it was the middle of the day, and I can't remember why. It was all of us in one of my homies' cars. We was four deep, and we was downtown Augusta, right off of Fort Gordon. I don't know where we was going. I guess we supposed to be in school, but I don't know. Remember skipping school? I don't know what it was. And we're telling, me, like I said, I'm in the front suit, and I'm always telling jokes, cracking jokes. And I'm laughing, and we're all laughing. And I look to the side, and we're in the left turning lane, and in the front lane, right next to us, is the fucking company commander. My company, and I'm laughing as I'm already laughing, and laughing my ass off. And I turn and I'm still laughing at her. I say, it's almost like Lucy. Remember on I Love Lucy when she's laughing? Then she start crying when she sees Ricky. That's how I felt. I'm like, it is not like high school skipping. I don't know why I can't remember what we were doing, but it was all of us. We were in uniform. So we were supposed to be, I don't know, at the company. Maybe it was lunchtime. I don't know. But he was like, why you ain't at the company? The hell you doing? And he was a black dude, big old black dude, the CO. And yeah, just like I thought, as soon as we get back, come to the office. But they got me in the head, me in the hallway. They was like, the other ones that ain't even in my platoon, all the drill sergeants, and I remember them hearing, I'm on the ground, the hallway on the floor, push-ups, rollovers, sit-ups, all this, flutter kicks. And I'm not worried about that. That don't bother me. I've been in like 8 months, and I'm fit. That's nothing. But I was worried I was gonna get a paperwork, Article 15, and all of a sudden I just hear the female. Oh, what y'all doing, drill sergeant? Oh, what he do? It's like candy. I'm like candy. Come and get you some of this. So she came. And everybody, they just all of them just smoking me. But I felt better. I said, oh, wait a minute. So that means I'm not gonna finna get an Article 15, and I didn't. No counselor statement, no nothing. So I didn't care. It's like this is nothing. But that's what I'm saying. It's hilarious. It's funny. I told everybody the friend. It's nothing. It's not embarrassing. Oh, they dog me. It's hilarious. But I was upset because everybody else, it was four of us. He only told on me, the captain. Like basically he snitched or told on me because the captain don't do all that. He's the officer. He's there. He tell your immediate superior, your squad leader. This is basic. I mean, this is AIT, and they just smoked the shit out of me. And it was to this day, it's just funny as hell because, like I said, all of a sudden you just hear, "Oh, drill sergeant, oh, let me get some of that." Yeah, I'm serious. What he roll over, push, flutter kid. Hello, darling. Because you gotta, and you're doing it real fast. You roll it up, back up, do push-ups, back on your back, sit up. You go down. You like, and it's just funny. And I was stressed because I thought I was gonna get smoked and an Article 15. Maybe take my little. I only had E1, E2, my little mosquito wings, and nobody else, and I ain't telling nobody else. They ain't even ask who car you was in, or maybe they knew who car it was. That's what I'm like. I ain't say nothing. But once I realized they doing all this shit and calling the other jurors, hey, guess what? Yeah, he guess what he want to do. He's supposed to be in school and that. Yeah, he downtown and that. You know, I ain't say nothing. Like, what about everybody else? It was the three others. I ain't say nothing. I just wanted to how the hell what the hell the captain doing right next to. Like I said, we was finna turn left and we're waiting for the turning signal, and he pulls up, and I didn't know any car. I just happened to be laughing, and as soon as I don't know, you just look to the side out the passenger window, and he's looking in the car, and he's looking dead in my face, because I guess he knew the car, but he only he only told on me, told just when I get back, and you know what happened. I already knew what was coming. But that's what I'm saying. It's just funny. This shit. Oh, you don't cuss and you don't do all that. And I don't think they cuss too much. I think my ones in basic training cuss the most. But them, I don't think they cuss at all. I can't remember them cussing. But
from the civilian world, and nothing better than a little shock to the system.
But yeah, the one in basic training, they cuss like a mother. That one, that's the only man that actually the first sergeant. The first sergeant, he told us, I'm gonna take you in the fucking woods and nobody's gonna ever be able to identify y'all. Because we was that's what I was a guidon bearer, and we was training just the guidon bearers, all four of us, for the platoon, for the company. We wasn't snapping right. I think I told the story. Just look at the movie. Present arms. You got snap, and we wasn't snapping all at the same time. And he just, cause he gonna be up front next to the company commander. He's the first sergeant. He just turned. I'm gonna take y'all in the woods, and nobody's gonna be able to fucking identify you. And it wasn't a rumor. He did have like 130 some kills, and he had pictures of with him of dead. I'm like, but he ain't. Where did he get them kills in the 80s? But he's Panama or some shit. I don't know. It's like what the Vietnam been over since like 74. And he wasn't that old, so like he couldn't have been. Where'd he get all these kills from? This nigga crazy. I mean, it was a white dude. I'm like, this nigga is crazy as hell. He was. He just cussed everybody out. But yeah, he got us in line, but not for no reason. He didn't belittle you. That's what I'm talking about. It's not belittling. It's just when you fucked up. And he still ain't. Oh, well, he did say some things like, he might have said some, guy shit. We also fucking, this and that. Y'all doing this to each other. Y'all need to get. But that's like what we would say in high school. Y'all niggas in there doing. Y'all fucking or something? Man, come on, man. Get the fuck. We just joking. Stuff like that. But it didn't hurt nobody. They trying to this woke shit, man. I'm like, we all gonna die, depending on these soft motherfuckers, all of us. But this other one, this is the main one. I'm probably gonna do two on this one. This is the main one. Now this one, the one I keep talking about, I've been talking about, is gonna do a video on it. And see, they call it an anti-civil rights movie, but now we see it's the truth. It's not no sellout house nigga shit. This is the truth. Like it's communist. I didn't know that. I heard people say before they called Martin Luther King communist. I'm just conflicted. I mean, I'm not really. It's like still we wouldn't have what we have today. But it's like, oh well, what's done is done. But we're not gonna be communists no matter what. We don't owe them anything.
This country from the onslaught of integration. The system is they want to throw white children and colored children into the melting pot of integration, out of which will come a conglomerated, mongrel class of people. All races will be destroyed in such a movement. I, for one, under God, will die before I'll yield 1/8 that kind of a movement. Not only has the black man got a champion, they call him Martin Luther
And another thing, the funny thing, the Democrats are the communists. That hasn't changed. These they just didn't want they still they just don't want they didn't want mixes. Nobody cares about that shit. You know.
As one of them. Kamala.
But like I said, there was no big switch. Right now, the Democrats, they don't. It's hard to explain. It's not confusing. It's just I don't know. Maybe it's emotional.
And if this nigger thinks he can scare the niggers out, I'll also inform him that the white man can be stirred up to defend what is rightful.
And so the seeds of dissension were sown among both the black and the white races. And inexorably, the people of the United States were being divided according to plan.
I mean, this is 1966, but that's where I remember I was saying that, and we always been saying that, with BLM, according to plan, divide, divide, divide. That's exactly what we're talking about.
Among the so-called downtrodden and oppressed, among the supposedly starving and pauperized Negroes, the enemy was referred to as...
Oh, hold up, somebody pulling in a raggedy ass car. You see the muffler hanging. Get that shit fixed. No, serious, it's not a diss. In my hood, ain't nobody gonna diss because I had a car like that. I did. And, but damn, get that shit fixed, man. You can get you a crackhead mechanic. Seriously, real talk. They'll fix it. You go get the part. They'll throw it on for about $40. Jack up the car. And you ain't got right around like that. Sounding like that. It's just, niggas ridiculous. But anyway.
Whitey, Mr. Charlie, the Man, and the Ophe. Phase 1 was well on its way. Now it was time to implement Phase 2. Create the appearance of popular support. Beguile the people of the United States and the world into believing the pious fraud that the civil rights uprising, led by a handful of agitators, was a popular movement of the whole Negro race in the United States.
Now, this doesn't mean that there isn't a legitimate need for the advancement of civil rights for many of our Negro citizens. Of course, there is a need there. Otherwise, communist agitators posing as civil rights leaders could never hope to enlist massive support for their schemes.
See, I mean, that's what. See, I didn't know that. I just saw this maybe about 4 months ago, and they knew it back then. Just like I said, BLM, they said it. We're trained Marxists. That's Karl Marx. That's communism. They, in 2017 or whatever, they thought that was a good thing or something. But you don't hear nothing but from BLM no more, do you? Don't hear a word. They got all their money and left. And this is 19, but it's more. It's more people.
Of Negroes for full equality were not created by communists, but they are used by communists in such a way that idealistic Americans of all races can be tricked into implementing the communist...
I mean, yeah, I'm like, now it's like I'm in church. You heard what she said? All races. See what I'm saying? That's what I've been saying. This was 1966. You hear what that black lady saying? They trick all these liberal white folks. They trick everybody into becoming a communist, or try to. The devil is stupid. Like I said, the devil is a trickster and a liar, but he's stupid. He always lose. I can't believe it. You would think, but the Bible never said he was smart. The Bible said he was just the most beautiful angel, right? The prettiest, handsomest. It didn't say he was the smartest. I guess the devil is a dumb blonde or something, or whatever.
Blueprint for revolution.
And I just thought of that. You just heard me freestyle that on the spot. You know, the devil is the devil's a dumb blonde or something. I don't know. No offense to white folks. Yeah, that's what YouTube give me. It has no racism, sexism. You know, he could be a dumb big old black nigga. You know, one of them big old niggas that they love with the bald head, Morris Chestnut. You know, they might be smart. Yeah, that all the women love, sexy heartthrob. So don't say I'm picking on white folks.
Having been on the inside of the Communist Party, it's easy for me to recognize this revolutionary agitation in disguise. But the average American finds it's hard to believe that something as worthy and noble sounding as a civil rights movement could possibly be a communist maneuver.
Communism must be built with non-communist hands. The revolutionary accepts reform in order to use it as a cover for his illegal work.
By concealing the true communist objectives behind appealing slogans and pretended humanitarian goals,
see exactly what they still doing. Exactly what they said. Remember I said they used the same. What they did was they buried shit like this. I'm surprised YouTube let this get out. They buried shit like the same. Remember I said I've been noticed. That's when I started going. I'm like, I noticed my friends. You know, they started doing just, but they're doing dirt, selling drugs, whatever. I didn't care about that, but they all started acting, that fake helping everybody. You got to help the brothers, humanitarian, all this fake. And I was like, we all been to church. Well, maybe some of them ain't go to church like I did, and had to go to Sunday school. I'm like, it's like you're trying to buy your way by doing good deeds. And yeah, I know faith without works, but all y'all doing is works. Y'all just trying to work out doing good deeds, but you're still doing evil to everybody else. Corrupt, fucked up, and like this, just like all that, just like now. Remember I was talking about this morning, the Maui thing, doing good humanitarian acts, all that shit.
Conspirators are able to dupe hundreds of uninformed opportunists and misguided idealists into supplying the non-communist hands needed in the overthrow of this republic. Thoroughly deceived, some of the Negroes cry for liberation through the slogan, "Freedom Now."
And see, that's another thing, Democrats, if you play this video, but yeah, why we gotta be nigga? Who gives a fuck? Negroes, hell, we say that, hey, Negro, whatever, ain't no, that shit shouldn't bother you.
The Democratic slogan, "One man, one vote," has gained wide acceptance. But perhaps the most popular slogan is Venceremos, the rallying cry of the deluded peasants of Cuba, Haiti, and Venezuela. Venceremos, we shall overcome, is now the rallying cry of the deluded peoples.
And see, that's another thing when I was watching that hit right there. Remember, I used to say it all the time, up until a couple of months till I saw this. Remember, I was like, y'all are a disgrace to Martin Luther King, but now we know. I still don't like saying it right now. He was one of them. He was a communist. I was like, damn, because that's where we should. I didn't know that. You know how many times I had in the '80s, early '80s, kindergarten, first grade, New York City. How many times we sung "We Shall Overcome"? Because it was that's what I'm saying. It wasn't because they were worried. Like I said, my folks had money. You stay in the neighborhood. But they was just teaching us. We shall overcome. And you know how many times in kindergarten, first grade, that what I'm saying, we had to sing that, and now it's a communist slogan. I didn't. Then that shit hit me hard. I'm like, God damn, I didn't know that. But now I do. It is what it is. I guess that's the military training. It's like, I ain't got time to feel bad. We still got to operate.
United States.
It's a communist plot. I didn't know that.
When I was studying communist.
Now this guy, like I said, he reminded me when I moved down south. A lot of my teachers, church folks, whatever, from New York. That's how they all talk. They, by like 88, but this is 66, but they still talk like that. This video was 66, and he's the one. Because at first I heard him talking, yeah, he reminded me of some old nigga from Birmingham or whatever. But he's the one that really busted open. That's when I had to stop watching the video. He tell the whole thing. He does. Just listen.
Tactics and strategy in Moscow. My instructors emphasized the importance
He said he was.
of honest grievances and popular slogan.
Let me. I had to say something, but let me play the whole thing.
When I was studying communist tactics and strategy in Moscow,
Moscow. He was in. They sent him to Moscow.
emphasized the importance of using honest grievances and popular slogans as a smokescreen to cover up the true nature of the revolution. We were taught how to use propaganda and arouse the emotion of the masses. We learned how to set one group against the other and to make them hate each other. We learned the necessity of having martyrs, and we were even told how to create our own martyrs if they did not automatically result from the atmosphere of hatred. We were taught the importance of getting large masses of people into the street for marches and demonstrations. And finally, we were instructed in ways.
Same old shit. BLM riots. Wasn't no protest. BLM. And this guy, he said he got sent to Moscow to learn that shit. Just like I said, the co-founders, those lesbians, BLM, is on video. I still got it saved. We are trained Marxists. So they got trained just like this dude. He's a trained Marxist, but he's already he's already saying he rejecting that shit. But they sent him to Moscow to learn Russia.
To pick off riots and make them spread and to keep them going. When I returned to the United States, I was immediately given practical training. I participated in so-called nonviolent demonstrations that were deliberately calculated to irritate white people and to violence against
Remember, and they still do it. Just like he said, deliberately. That's the words I've been looking for. Remember, I've been saying it. I call it provoke. Deliberately, just like all the BLM it's non-violent. And then they're gonna say, I ain't do nothing to you. I ain't touch you. They're trying to irritate you, like with their words, this and that. And obviously they don't just do it to white folks. You see how black my hands are. They do it to anybody they deem who's not, part of their communist shit, which is fine. That's what I'm saying. That's a weak ass tactic. That's what I'm telling you. That is weak as fuck. You're not a warrior. You know how like some civilizations they got, that when the warrior dies, he gonna go to a different place. That's not Christianity. I'm just saying, like Valhalla for the Vikings. So you're trying but every civilization, the warriors got a special place. Even in Christianity, because even Jesus, when he was talking to the centurion, he didn't say nothing bad to him. Remember? Well, if you can look it up. He was impressed with the Roman centurion, because he was just a soldier. But in my opinion, if you read that verse, but doing this sneaky bullshit, trying to that's some hoe shit. That's effeminate. That's not a warrior. You're a coward. If you, like I said, say what you mean. You mad? I don't like you, nigga. If you don't like me, say it, nigga. Don't fucking all this fake phony shit thinking you smart. You gonna outsmart me and okay, then I'm gonna give up. You gonna talk me into just giving up. With this hiding behind, racism, we're trying to fight racism. That's exactly just like he said, humanitarian, all that, racism and this and that. And like I said, all these niggas that ain't got none, they just bums. Straight up. They just a fucking bum. Ain't nobody jumped in front of you. Ain't nobody systemic racist. It ain't systemic. You're a systemic bum. You systemically a fucking bum. And that's the end of it.
Personally was in charge of organizing a march on Washington to dramatize the gospel for his case. In New York, about 1935, a Negro boy was reported killed by the owner of a store while in the act of stealing some merchandise. Communist Party headquarters decided to make a march out of the boy. So we went right.
George Floyd, you already know where I'm gonna go. George Floyd, where all of them. Remember, I've been. Didn't I say that? I already knew this. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm, just whatever. First of all, I don't, I'm Christian. I ain't no psychic, but so I'm not a psychic. But it's like it's just easy. Remember, I kept saying the little. Remember another boy, Trayvon Martin, and the other one. They gonna make these martyrs, and this was it. Like I said, this dude is telling a plan. This video is in black and white, and he said that was in 1935. So this is the whole BLM playbook from 1935.
To work, putting out handbills and holding open air meetings. In less than a half hour after we started, there was a race right there on 125th Street, complete with smash.
And like another thing they tried to say, well, well, he didn't deserve to die for stealing that. Remember, we all said that's stupid. That's not what they saying. Nobody is like, do you know English? Did you drop out? Did what grade did you get? Remember you had to do word definitions? And you supposed to get the definition from Webster's dictionary. Where'd you get your definition? Because nobody said they deserve to die for stealing. And they really remember, but you notice they don't say that no more because everybody shut them down because it was a stupid statement. Nobody said execute the boy on the spot. What happened is, like I said, they got scared. They got caught and they tried to fight and tried to get away and da 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 da. And like I said, I never ran, I never had to run from the police. Ain't no running for you. Like I said, if you in the streets, that's what I'm saying. Stealing, that's another reason why the Democrats wanted to cut out the drug trade. Not because they was worried about the drug addicts. They just didn't want niggas making money where they got the money. They ain't got to run from the police. They could just hire a lawyer like rich white folks. But they ain't want niggas to be able to, because they need to cause that division. So they got, that's why they got all these young ass niggas. Instead of, doing something, they stealing some little whole shit. It's like, how you gonna, first of all, you can't, when as a teenager, you can't make enough money stealing. Stealing cars, unless you know where a chop shop is and you part of an organization, because otherwise you just joyriding. Fuck all that. You need some money where you can buy your own car. All that stealing and shit like that, nigga I went to prison for stealing and it's dumb shit. It ain't even about being I was a good boy, I don't steal. It's like, no, stealing ain't no money in it. Unless you know where the jewelry is, or gold, or hundreds of thousands, something that's worth it, that you go rob a bank. But you stealing just little dumb shit, stealing shit, this and that, and trying to sell it for $5-10. No, man, get a fucking job or something. Shit's stupid.
There was a race right there on 125th Street, complete with smashing windows of white storekeepers, looting, and all the rest. I'm not speaking of things I read about. These are things I personally participated in.
Personally participated in. Yeah, another thing, like I said, I've been said it. I learned, just from listening, that stealing shit, niggas gonna kill your ass, cause even if you ain't do it. So say you got the local drug dealer and his shit get broken into, his car, that's personal. And it's just, so yeah, but you the one everybody knows steal all the time. He gonna come for your ass, even if you didn't do it. You gonna swear up and down you didn't do it, but he gonna think you did it, cause you a thief. Even drug dealers don't like thieves. I mean, you probably sold him some stuff. You done probably bought him some stuff, stereos and all types of shit. And he done bought it from you. He think you stole from him.
As it was in Cuba, so it was in Algeria. so it is in the United States. In Jackson, Mississippi, Medgar Evers, State Field Secretary for the NAACP, was shot in the back by an unknown assassin as he was entering his home.
And another thing like that, in NAACP, every time you see something, but now we ain't know the whole time. They part of that communist shit. Every time, yeah, just like you always see somebody suing the cops or something. Oh, NAACP, local NAACP, all of them. Just all on that bullshit, George Floyd shit. My point in saying that, I think they shot Medgar. They the ones who killed him and said it was a. They had to stir up this. That's what the other black dude just said. The one who was just talking. They got to divide everybody. So they probably killed their own people.
After lying in state in Mississippi, the body of World War II infantry GI Medgar Evers was sent to Washington, D.C. for burial in Arlington National Cemetery. Now a victim of the very communist agitation he had helped promote, Medgar Evers was able to further serve communist purposes by being glorified as a martyr in the supposed...
That's what I just said, because I hadn't listened to this part. I'm just listening to it too for the first time. They killed him. They martyred him. That's what it's called. Yeah, they martyred him. They okay. They thought that was gonna work.
Fight of the Negro people for freedom and justice. Medgar Evers' remains were buried with full military honors and nationwide news coverage. As it was in Cuba, so it was in Algeria. And so it is in the United States. Mysterious bombings by assailants unknown plague the lives and property of the Negro people and serve to intimidate those who might speak out against the conspirators. The bombing of this Birmingham, Alabama church claimed the lives of 4 little girls attending Sunday school. A memorial service was held in Washington, D.C. for the 4 young victims, after which the mourners demonstrated their grief before the White House.
I mean, yeah, like the 16th Street Baptist Church, that's close to my house. I mean, I'm just saying, when Condoleezza Rice, remember George Bush's, whatever she was, one of her friends killed in that, some shit like that. But no, 16th Street, and right now it's a museum, civil rights museum. They ain't do it till like the 2000s.
And the press.
Not the church, the museum is right across the street.
Rallied the sympathies of the nation was the lovely Viola Gregg Liuzzo, who was shot to death while driving between Selma and Montgomery, Alabama, with a Negro civil rights worker. The American press told their shocked readers of her 5 children and husband, and her righteous zeal for justice that caused her to go to Alabama to help the American Negro gain the right to vote. This photo of Mrs. Liuzzo, taken during the Selma to Montgomery march and just prior to her death, points up the fact that the press failed to mention that the photo used to gain the sympathies of the nation was a high school photo taken almost 20 years earlier. That her 5 children were by 3 husbands. And that her name had been removed from Michigan's eligible voter list in accordance with state law because she had not used her voting privilege for 6 years.
We were taught how to use propaganda, how to arouse the emotion of the masses. We learned how to set one group against the other and to make them hate each other. We learned the necessity of having martyrs, and were even told how to create our own martyrs if they didn't automatically result from the atmosphere of hatred.
Look at this fool. This hot as hell. He walking with a hoodie on.
Create the appearance of
It's
popular
fucking
support.
90 degrees. He got a hoodie on and his hood up.
And if any of the alert, informed citizens call attention to the true revolutionary goals behind the humanitarian slogans, move into phase 3 and neutralize the...
That's another thing. Everybody been seeing these boys, even New York City. It get hot in the summer. 99. All these niggas walking around with hoodies on in the summer. I don't know what the hell that mean. People even just said something in the comment section. It's you see somebody walking with a hoodie on in the middle of the summer. What is it? What is the degrees right now? Either way, it's still hot. 86 degrees. That's pretty fucking hot. In the sun, that's hot as fuck. And he got a fucking hoodie on, and he walking by with a hoodie. You saw that? I don't know what the fuck that stupid shit's supposed to mean.
My full name is Nolan Self. I was born the first day of September, 1918. My dad was Brack Self. That's all I ever knew Dad as, Brack. My mama was named Joanna. We were raised to work. My daddy was a farmer in Leesville. And he believed in working, and he was a hard worker. Wherever Dad was, that's where I was. In fact, he always called me sweet boy in the knee-nine. Now, what that means, I don't know. But I was crazy about my daddy, and he was crazy about his baby boy. He was a real man. When he was a young man, he drank that whiskey and ride his horse and go through the town and shoot the town up. My family had 5 boys and 6 girls.
I'm just saying. So, his dad, he was born in 1918. And his dad, it said he's a retired first sergeant. I was just talking about first sergeants. And but his dad, well, he's a little boy, so that had to be 1920 something. He's 1918. So that's in the 1920s. His dad can go do all that, and they ain't kill him. That's what I'm talking about. We're all this racist, but let me finish, see what he's saying.
11 of us. Well, Mom had to do most of the raising, and she made us go while I was going. But see, we were so poor because Dad left us early. I remember coming home one day. I came in through the back door, and Mama was... It touches me. I came in through the back door, and Mama was out on the front porch in the swing. She heard me, and she said, "Nolan, there's some biscuits in the oven." I picked the last of the collard greens. They are sitting on the stove, but I didn't have no fat to put in them, Nolan. So I cooked them with lard. That tore me up. I quit school, and she didn't have to tell me to quit. I quit. Roosevelt had started the CCC, Civilian Conservation Corps. The CCC was a forerunner of the United States Army. Roosevelt was a far-seeing man. He knew that Hitler was raising sand at that time, and we were going to have to tangle with him. And so he started the CCC. There was no bridges, no roads, and no trees. The soil was eroded. Roosevelt fixed all of that. He told us that he wanted every man to work because there was no work. Everybody was a hobo. Trains was running but full of men going from state.
That's what I'm saying, the old school. Back then, you call a bum, a hobo, whatever. I'm gonna start using that word, the hobo.
State. Roosevelt said, "I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna start the CCC and put everybody to work." But he told you when he hired you, he said, "I'm gonna pay you $1 a day, and a month to me only has 30 days. You get $30 at the end of the month. But you can only keep 5 of them dollars. The 25 is going home to Mom and Dad. I'm going to see to that." We were glad to do that. At the same time, Roosevelt was building.
That's another thing. See how the Democrats, if they heard that story, even with our logic, okay, yeah, that was 1930 something, right before war was about 1932, and they were kids, like you said, when they like teenagers, so they probably had a place to stay, something like Job Corps or something. And they be like, oh, see how them crackers, they racist, they're racism, they only paid them $5. It took the rest, but like he tell the truth, the rest went to his mama and them, his dad.
Barracks and camps.
Yeah, I just said that.
We
See,
gonna need them later on. I stayed in the CCC for 2 terms, so I stayed the 2 years
I never
that I
heard
was
of that shit.
allotted, and I had to go back home to Pine Bluff, Arkansas. They sent me back home, and my mama and my 2 sisters, they were the only ones there, needed me, and I could see what condition they were living in. I went back down to the CCC headquarters and begged the lady to let me go back for 1 more term. I overpowered her. She let me go back in for another 2 years for the sake of my sisters and my mama. She agreed with me because I begged her on my knees almost. When I came out of the CCC, it was 1940. So I was old enough then to fight, to be a soldier. Well, I never thought about the United States Army. I hadn't even thought of that, really. But the Buffalo Soldiers, they got a tremendous history. My mother had a letter, and she said, Nolan, you have a letter from the president. When I opened the letter, he told me, he said, I want you, Nolan Self, to be one of my soldiers. He greeted me, of course, the letter did. But he told me, I want you to take a physical. And he told me where I'd have to go to get the physical. And if you pass the physical, I want you to report to Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, and become a member of the 10th Cavalry and be one of my soldiers. And when I told my mama, she started crying and said, oh, Nolan, they can't, well, what you mean, go into the Army? I said, Mama, don't cry. I said, it's a good thing for you and the girls. I said, Mama, you're going to get a check if I pass the physical. She don't understand that. Don't take my baby boy. No, no, no. Now, a lot of the guys...
And another thing, the CCC sound like the CCP, Communist, the Chinese Communist Party.
...of soap and making a pill out of it and swallowing it and drink a lot of water to make the blood pressure go up. And they don't want to go into the Army. I told them, I said, I don't want nothing to do with that. I don't want to pass this physical. I passed, and then Roosevelt got the word that I had passed. He not only took me, he took 400 blacks out of Pine Bluff, Arkansas on the Missouri Pacific train and took us all the way to Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. I've never been away from home in my life. Pine Bluff is a pretty good place to live. We never had any troubles there. Never. And so I went into the Army at Fort Leavenworth. Fort Leavenworth, ain't nobody gonna act up there if you got good sense. The officers were kind. They were handpicked. You just you don't become not an officer in the 10th Cavalry or the 9th Cavalry. I had a good time when I was in the service.
See, that was that. Everybody, even back then, everything was so racist. But this is even before World War II. He from Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and he Fort Leavenworth. He said he had a good time. They were racist. They were the KKK. They would come and beat us. That's what I'm saying. He don't say none of that. This was in the 1930s. This old man talking about I had a good time and nobody acted up. But you listen to them Democrats, he was getting his ass beat by the sergeants and the cup. Yeah, beat up, not smoked. The way they gonna make it, they try to make it and shit. He was getting beat, lynched. Niggas was getting hung and shit, hanging from trees. You know, they just all this fantastic story ass shit. You know, just niggas was getting chased and beat and whooped and yeah, they getting whipped and shit. You know, he's like, nah, I had it just like you know how I always say, you had a good time. But they hate that shit. You know, no, you know, you hate, no, systemic racism, wah, you know. Fucking crazy ass motherfuckers. That's what I'm telling you. We gotta do something. These folks are crazy.
Yeah, I can remember eat like I wanted to. I was a youngster then, you know, what they call a private, buck private. But the Army was a salvation to me and my family. I was glad to be a soldier. I loved horses. In the Army, I had 2 horses, in fact. In the service, and when you're a horse cavalry, they assign you 2 horses. You have a spare, because, you know, one might break a leg or he might get sick.
That's nothing. They ain't think, you know, they gave them horses. Oh, y'all niggas too dumb to have horses. You know, I'm just saying, they gave them all this responsibility. But according to them, they was just, and I don't want to hear it. That's just one story. No, if it's systemic means system wide. It was everywhere. Nobody, that's what we're talking about. That's why I keep talking about these millionaire 10 millionaires, the 20 millionaire, 100 millionaire black folks talking about systemic racism. And I don't want to hear it. Then how the fuck did you make it? Systemic mean it's system wide. It's everywhere. That mean you should be performing for free. You got talent, you can sing, you can dance, you should be performing for free because it's systemic.
Anything could happen. Because they have sick call every morning at 10 o'clock. It's just like they did for us soldiers. I had a horse named Funston. Had a beautiful build. He was wide. And that's the kind of horse I need, because at that time I'm learning. I don't know a whole lot about him. And he was a good horse to ride, because he was one when they say gallop, all you got to do is sit in the saddle. Because he's going to give you that ride, you know. Anyway, but he ran away with me though one day. We were out riding for pleasure, or learn how to, there's different things you need to know when you're riding a horse, how to properly handle him. And they teach you, if he gets spooked, which he will get a lot of time, and he's going to start running then, they said, never jump from that horse, but take up your reins and cut him in a circle, because he can't stand that cut on his mouth. Well, he got to running, he got spooked and took off. And I was riding along the Kansas River. We were riding that morning, a whole bunch of us. And the sergeant in charge, he way up in front. He didn't know the horse had done broke out of the ranks and started running away with me. And he headed right for the river. And I can't swim. They teach you never jump from a horse when he gets spooked and starts, you know, running. Because if your foot should happen to get caught in that stirrup, he drag you to death.
That's nothing. See, that's what I'm saying. There's stuff they teach you, and you remember it, and it's true. That's why I said you. That's why I mean, when you go into units, you know, them whatever you want to call it, support units. You really. That's why a lot of they try to compare me. I'm not. It's not a brag. You got to be in the units that's hard. And you'll learn real stuff. It's not about yelling at people and dogging people out. You learn real. See what I'm saying? You learn real stuff that'll save your fucking life. It's not racism. It's not yes sir, no sir, and all this and that. I kept trying to like he said, you have a good time and you learn some shit. And he made it all the way up the first serve, you know. But they tried to kill me. So anyway, I ain't getting to make it
He was
different.
going with me. And I said, well, Lord, I can't swim. And you had your people to say, don't jump. But I'm jumping.
Yeah, that's true.
To this day, if I had it all to do over, instead of buying a home, I'd buy me a farm where I could have me a horse at least. Because I love to ride. And at 96, people tell me you can't ride anymore, but I believe I can. You can, right? I met Joe Lewis, he went running. It was in the unit. It could run. Ran with him in one morning. Joe Louis built the conditioning camp at Fort Riley because the government moved the 10th Cavalry to Fort Riley, Kansas, where the 9th Cavalry was at already, so the two units could train together, both black units. So it was a joy to run with Joe. Joe didn't do no work naturally, just being Joe Louis. He was a fine man, though. He was a gentleman, perfect gentleman. In fact, he was living in Junction City, he and Marva, and he knew that the soldiers didn't have nothing for them to do. So what he did was he contacted Count Basie to come here with his big, pretty, good band, and I'm going to be responsible for all the young ladies so the soldiers will have someone to dance with. And I'll have Basie to play the music, and he could do that. Somebody got the young ladies together. Joe paid for the bill. He paid for the buses. And all the girls, Joe brought them in by the busloads.
I don't know. It's just like, yes, that's some real shit. His soldiers, not comrades, his peers. Well, he do something for them. Not, and you could do charity work around the neighborhood, but you gotta do something for your soldiers, your buddies, because he was still enlisted too. Morale.
Well, Wilma came to this dance that Joe sponsored in Topeka, Kansas.
I mean, nowadays, yeah, but see, the Democrats, they do it now, but they just doing it for show. It's phony. Oh, we're gonna do it for the soldiers, and it's phony. They'll have Rihanna or somebody perform, for the soldiers, and it's just a big event. He had it for them. It's a party, and he brought girls, so that what I'm saying. You can get on them if you want, or if you got game, but nowadays it would be just all the soldiers. They're props. They got to sit in the audience and look happy. They might even oversee like the old days with Bob Hope and shit, going over USO shows. But nowadays it's a prop. It's just we're doing it. Joe Biden, he's gonna bring so and so for the soldiers, and it's all phony.
I had met her, and I thought I was going to be with her, but she had another fella she was going to be with. And Wilma said she asked her if she would entertain me.
Well, I thought I was just about the cutest kid I'd ever seen. He was so handsome.
Let me see though what the rest about. My battery's down, both of them.
I was in because we didn't have time to be talking then.
Oh, you know what? I ain't even noticed this shit. I went to another movie. My fault.
And neutralize the opposition. One effective way to neutralize any opposition is to liquidate it. In the summer
I was wondering what happened, but I wasn't paying attention. It's still the same subject.
Dared to speak out critically against the civil rights revolutionaries.
I was wondering what happened. Like, why didn't they show that dude? But my battery fucking down on this one. Yeah, it's down to 10% on the one I'm using. Let me go charge this motherfucker up. They might have called.